At the very initial stage, it was known as Mynken Christian Proceeding High School, which was established right from 1961 at the initial stage, but it was officially started in 1963 by the church leader of the Bhoirymbong district, Bhoirymbong Kerdem Presbyterian Church, with an aim to set up a secondary institution at this area, because at the very initial stage there is no secondary school in this area or high school which we know by that time. There is only one government basic school known as Mynken Government Basic School. So the church leader at that time, to cater the need of the local people, they take the initiative to start the secondary school. So from that time onward, when the school established in 1963, with a lot of difficulties, with a lot of sacrifice of the leader of this area, this school progressed step by step, and then it got the ad hoc grant from the Assam government by 1963, and then by 1981 this school come into the deficit system of the government of Meghalaya. So from that time onward, the school progressed from time to time, and it became the center of the SSLC examination from 1993 till date. And then we started the higher secondary section in arts in 2004. In 2003, the management committee adopted a resolution to start the commerce stream. At the very beginning, we get a very few number of students in commerce stream, but slowly the number of students who choose to go for commerce stream are big number. Then in 2021, again the management committee took the resolution that we need to open a science stream to cater the need of the students of this area who are bright, who cannot afford to go to Shillong. This will be a very big milestone for the progress of the institution. It will involve a very big amount of expenditure to establish a lab and other. But the management committee find ways and means to start the science stream. So we construct 2 more classrooms from our management committee fund and 2 new science lab in 2022 last year. And now these 2 classrooms are completed and 2 labs were completed. So we opened the science stream in 2022. So this is the only institution of this area, right from Umyam to Bordar, Assam, which has got all the 3 streams, arts, commerce and science. So as of now, enrollment without class 11, there is 796. Last year altogether 964. So this year hopefully that after the joining of class 11, we'll reach nearly 1,000 students after the enrollment of the class 11 in all the 3 streams. Another good progress of this institution is that the government of Meghalaya has chosen this institution to be the model school for vocational education. There are 10 vocational schools in the country and 2 in the northeast, 1 in Tripura and 1 is here in Mynken. So this vocational course are collaborated with Pandit Sharma Vocational Institute, Bhopal, run by the NCRT. So we were supported by the NCRT with 2 vocational teachers in 2 streams, agriculture and beauty and wellness. They provide all the material in the lab. We construct the lab by ourselves. There are quite good number of material like power tiller and then lots of machine for agriculture. And the students perform very well in these 2 streams. We are very happy that this year also, through the education department, they have selected this school to be the pilot project for this Curiosity Gym, running the STEM program, Science, Technology, Engineering and Maths, in collaboration with Curiosity Gym from Mumbai, and then under the initiative and guidance of the Smart Village movement. So we have started this STEM program from class 3 to class 10. This month, we have arranged a routine, and students are enthusiastic to see the progress, to learn about science, technology, and engineering and maths, like seeing how robots are working and how to make all these things, and then slight soldering of the engineering material. So this is a new thing that we added in our institutions. So I think we are very much blessed. After the training that most of the staff are getting from the school improvement program of the states, almost each and every one of them, they make use of the skills that they have achieved from the training. And then after coming from those training, they conduct like the PLC meeting of various subjects and try to find out the core area of improvement in every parts of the subjects. So through the PLC meeting that we have conducted, we find out those area of improvement and try to correct those drawbacks, and then make use of the new skills which will be very much benefited for the students. So after that year, we received the School Improvement Award, which you have seen here in the world. So that also encouraged us very much to further go ahead with this practical activities. So we see that there's a lot of improvement in the quality of teaching, and also student benefit also from what the teachers have learned through this MSIP. Is the time constraint because our MBOS syllabus is quite big, quite lengthy. So if we are frequently have this meeting also, we'll have to cut off the period, we have to cut off the timetable. But most of the time we conduct those meetings after schools, or sometime on during off period sometime. But that also is a quite big challenge, because to conduct many time or frequently also, it will affect the normal routine of the class. So the only solution that we can do is to motivate the teachers to kindly spare the time after schools, a short PLC meeting, and then sit together and bring the problem which each one have faced in the various subject. Then we try to cope with that problem that we have. Because we see that there is a benefit. There is a benefit for both teachers and students. So we prioritize that it is the best thing that we should follow, and we should continuously practice this PLC and other MSIP. we consider it's a best practice because this school is number one, it is in the area, in the rural area. So most of the students, they are coming from the very poor background of their family, mostly say marginalized students, because this school is a deficit school with a very say not very high school fee. So it attracts only the poor marginalized students. So these students are facing a lot of problem to have extra books of learning, even their own textbook also. Sometimes we have to support even their for buying books also. So this make us think that the only solution, the only way that we can help for those students is by upgrading the library so that they can be assessed. So each and every poor student can access to the library so that they will get extra book for learning, extra help for learning. That is the main part that it urges us to upgrade our library. It's a part of SIP because through the use of library, it improved the learning of the students. It provide improvement for the learning of the student, getting extra books, extra learning. Sometimes we conduct the group works also there in the library because if we do in the class, we cannot provide all the books there. So in the library, only 1-2 copy of books. So bringing all the students together in a group work there in the library, that is a part of improvement. Because we find that most of the students could not get the required material, required book for their learning. So that is why it makes us to take this initiative of improving so that we can provide extra book learning for learning of the students and extra material also for learning. The idea come to me itself as a principal and sharing with all the staff that it is the high time to have a library. So we decide in a staff meeting to seek the support first with the sponsoring body, the management committee. It's time to have a library in the school. So we share this with our annual report to the district Bhoirymbong Presbyterian Church, which is the sponsoring body. In our final year report, annual report, that the school need a library, seeking the support of the sponsoring body as well. So they also accepted our proposal by donating 50,000 rupees to the schools to set up the library. So this amount we purchase the steel almirah to keep all the books that we have as the sign of having a library room at that time. So a memorable tablet was made and it was placed there in the wall, and the library was inaugurated by that time by Dr. Didi Lapang in 2013. It is also the year where these schools celebrated the Golden Jubilee. So from that time onward, we get the new library room, the big new library room, and shifted all the steel almirah from that small room to the present library. So from that time onward, we seek the support of our well-wishers, friends, with the help of the staff, teachers, especially Mrs. Evergreen Casanti, who had got a very good number of friends, well-wishers, who provide with numbers of books and sometimes with financial support also to buy books in the library. before the upgradation of the library, in terms of percentage of pass, almost the same. Because this is a rural school, when all the students come from very, very poor background, mostly marginalized of them, so we feel that we cannot detain much in selection tests. Almost, if there are 100, we send 100. Say like this year, there are 48 in commerce, we send almost 48. Had we detained, so then we should have got good percentage. But we never go below 80. But we find that the quality is not that much. Say, not many first division, not many second division. But comparing with the present time, though the percentage more or less the same, a little bit improved, a little bit down, depend on the the year where the batches of students. But what we find is that the quality a little bit higher, more improved in quality. See, like example, well, especially the commerce stream, which were the students who are very frequently using the commerce. See, with the last 3-4 years, even the number of first division surpassed the number of second division. Last year, in 12 commerce, 10 are first division, 9 second division, no third division. This year, just out day before yesterday, 17 first division, 16 second division. So this is what we find that it is a part of the quality that we get is the use of all these things has added for the improvement. See, that is the big happiness for the part of the institution. It's a benefit of the using of the library. Hardly in a rural institution like us to see that the number of first division are more than the second division. And if you find all the schools in commerce result presently also in the Ri-Bhoi district, I think this is the only school which has got more first division than the second division. Even the big school like Alpha in Nongpo or others also, Ri-Bhoi College or whatever it is. So I think that will encourage more for us to initiate the student, to encourage, to motivate the student to make use of the library.
Welcome. This is our library at Mynken Christian Higher Secondary School. I'm going to show you our collection of books that have been donated by our friends from all over the world, friends known to me and unknown to me as well. Here is one book written by the author himself, Chinmay Tumbe. He's a professor in IIM Ahmedabad in Gujarat, and the name of the book that he's written is India Moving, A History of Migration. And these are given by the author himself, Mr. K.K. Kharluki, Tears of the Nims, and also Kasimpa. He is a local writer, a local author and poet. Before this, we didn't have a library. We only had one small room and just some shelves of books. Just a handful of books really, that the students cannot get access to. It was difficult because it was just a small room. We didn't have a sitting place, we didn't have chairs and tables, and also a librarian to manage the library. The principal had allotted some teachers to be librarians, but then it's difficult for them to manage the library as well as their classes. So, as a person who loved reading books, when I was at school, I used to go to State Central Library. We would go every Saturday with my friends to borrow books from the library. We enjoyed reading all those series of Enid Blyton, Nancy Drew, and etc. So when I look at my school, since it's a village schools, I saw that my students lack in that area, the area of reading. They never had the book except for the school books. That also barely, some of them really struggle to have school books and proper uniform, because we have students coming from different backgrounds here and they are economically challenged. So I went to a training in 2018, I think, the IPE Global Training. It was held in Pastoral Center. And there I met Madam Anarbhan. She was a resource person at that time, and she just mentioned the word a book collection drive, and that triggered me. And I went after the class, I went to her, talked to her and asked her, what is this book collection drive? She said, it's something that you just collect books. If you don't have a library, you can just create one. So since I'm a person who loved reading myself, so what I did was I started with that. She said she would help me. So the first collection, of course, I had to write up, had to introduce about the school and the need for a library. She went back to, Madam Anarbhat went back to IIM campus in Ahmedabad. And it so happened that I also got to go there. So I went there that winter. I went after her, asked her for the book collection drive because she said that she would help me. And finally, the first set of books came from there. It started with 50 books and then 100 books. And then after 3-4 months, I think it reached to 1,000 books. So she helped me, and then also because I'm passionate about reading, I loved reading, so I wanted to pass that on to my students, especially in a village area. I wanted to instill in them, the habit of reading. In today's world, many students are into, they are into mobiles and they all have internet access. So nobody would read. So I thought before that takes away their whole time, so I decided that I should do something, and with the support of the SMC, the School Management Committee, with the support of my family and friends, so I started the book collection drive. And that's how it started, that's how I got involved. And we all help, my family members, they all help. My husband would go to the post office to go and collect those books that was sent by people from all over the country, from all over the world, in fact. These books that I have collected all around, they are from all over the world. Some of them have given their old books, some of them have bought new books also for us, and some of them have just given me the cash so that I can decide to buy whatever the school needs, whatever our children needs. So that's how I got involved. And I remember my friends asking me, why are you doing this? You're not paid to do this. You're just keeping yourself so busy. You're already very busy in your school. But then for me, it's not a burden. It's something that I do out of love. It's something that I'm so passionate about. And it's something that I want to contribute to my community, my school community. And hopefully one day it'll be a library for the community surrounding this area as well, because it's a community of people from different parts of the world who have come together to give these books. So it's only right for us to give it back to the community. And I know I'm not paid. I wasn't paid, but then that's okay. In fact, I have to shell out money also from my pocket, buy some books. And that's how, so I went around to book fairs. I went around, I ordered books from online. That's how I collected the books. Before the library, students have no idea, have no habit of reading books. since there was no library, so we cannot blame them also. So the students, they just when they have off period, they just sit outside, they just loiter outside. Before the library, students are not getting information from any other books except from the school books. And we have to remember that it's a village school, so at home also they will not be having those kind of books. Just newspaper also is difficult for them. So their writing skills, their vocabulary, their use of dictionary also is difficult. I think before, those are the problems that we face. With this library and the upgradation of this library, it has bring a lot of changes in our students. They are able to develop the habit of reading. Apart from the school books, they also get to read reference books. They get to use dictionaries. They get to read books that's written by the same authors that we do in the class. They get to do extra reading on their or extra reading in the sense that suppose we do a book written by Charles Dickens, like Oliver Twist that we're doing in class 10. They get to read by the same author. The other books are also here in this library. And then they also, if we have activities like quiz, like essay writing, they get to come here, they get to go through the many books that are here. It helps them in gathering information also. In fact, last year we did we had a quiz in order to observe the Independence Day in 2022. So we wanted to motivate the students to read general knowledge, to read encyclopedias, to read all these informative books. So some of the teachers asked the students to come to the library and read those books, and then after that we had a quiz. So those quiz were based from those books that we have it here. So that has helped them also. I can only talk that in terms of quality. As I said earlier, that the students of this school has learned to express themselves better. As they read books, they also get to learn to use those words that they found in other books. Vocabulary has improved a lot. And also they get to express themselves in terms of writing also. Because when we give them writing work, if they don't know how to write, they come here, they search for books from here, and then that's how they get help from the library. That's how they learn how to write and express. They become independent also in searching for information, in looking for other books, not just the teachers giving them all the time. So in that way, I think the students have really got the opportunity to read a variety of books also. There's a good collection of books here. We have encyclopedias, we have a number of dictionaries, we have storybooks, we have fairy tales for the children, we have devotional also, Christian literature also, because it's donated by people. So we don't know where many books just came. So we even have medical books, engineering books, agricultural books. All kinds of books are here. For this library to grow, we required many things, in fact. This is just at the beginning, I think. This is just the beginning stage. If you go to other libraries, you would see so many books. You will see the rooms would be bigger. Ours is just a small room here, but we're very happy with it, and we hope that we will upgrade ourselves. Number one is we need to collect more books, reference books. That is needed at the moment. And we also observe that some of our students, they are not into holding a book and reading it. But I believe that if we can get computers, we can have e-books, e-journals, e-news. Our students of this generation are into all those, into technology. So we need to upgrade ourselves also, but we'll see how it goes. As of now, we have not approached anyone for help, and we will see how it will go. But we need to upgrade ourselves in the sense of install a library software also. Yeah, those kinds of things. And probably we will have a literary club also, a book club or a literary club where we will encourage our students to read and then discuss. Maybe in the future we'll do that.
My name is Vitiwadri, and I'm the librarian of this school, Mynken Christian High Secondary School. This library has played a very important role for the students. It had helped the students gain more knowledge, they gain more information apart from what they've learned inside the classroom. And also this library has also helped some of the students who could not afford to buy books. We also used to give books to them, like they borrow the books from the library and they could use it as for the academic sessions of their classes. Before, we don't have a proper library, so students, they are loitering around, hanging around. So that as of now, we have this big space for the students. We have a proper chairs, proper tables for them to make use of the library. So they are not wasting their time. They are coming to the library. They browse the books. Sometimes they're using most of the books from the library. They are using it. They are reading. They are reading the encyclopedias. They are reading the books, story books that are here. And also sometimes they are borrowing books. At the time when I joined here as a librarian, we have at least almost thousands of books. But now we have upgraded, and it had reached till 2,150. And more to be increasing every day, every time, and more to come. Almost all of the students from class 1 to class 12, almost all of the students, they are making use of the library. They are making use during the break period, they are making use during the off periods, and they are also making use during those times when the teachers are absent. Some of the teachers, they'll send them to the library, and they are making use of the library. Like books, only few students, they used to borrowing books from this library. Few of them, because as we know, students here, they are not staying here nearby of the schools. Some of them, they have to catch a cab. They'll reach home so late, and that's why most of the students, they use the books here in the library, and some only few of them, they are taking the books. And most of the students, there are some students who are very serious in their studies. They used to come here in the library and they used to borrow books. And that students also, he's very he passed out this commerce HSSLC exams with a good grades, with a good percentage. Here in this library, we have lots of collections of books, like encyclopedias, dictionaries, magazines, newspapers, storybooks, as Miss have mentioned before, science, agriculture, arts, history, geography, lots of books. And the most popular, as you say, it's the storybooks, the children's sections books, where students, they could not wait. As soon as I opened the door of the library, even before the bell rang in the morning, they used to come and say, "Miss, can I come to the library?" And they used to come and read the books. Even though some of the students, they don't know exactly how to read, they just come and look at the pictures and all. As of what I've observed, yes, this library has created a great interest to the students. As I've mentioned before also, that students are coming to the library, we could see the interest in them. We could see the interest that they are coming to the library, reading the books, and also I could see that because I'm shelving by myself all these books, right? So that's why I could see what kind of books they are interested on. The students are learning many things. Apart from what they've learned from the class or from the daily textbook, they've learned a lot. Yes, the students are using the library as per the timetable that we have organized for them. And we had put a period, especially to these higher secondary. We have put a period for them to come to the library. And also these small kids, we don't have exactly the library period. They're coming to the library during the break period. And as I've mentioned before, they're coming to the library and there's no teachers inside when the teachers are absent. Currently, we are managing the library, the issuings and accessions and everything. We're doing it manually. We don't have, like as of now, we don't have a proper digital software to manage all of these things. We still have a lot of improvement by installing new library software, as to say the digital library, and also e-books, e-journals, and also collections, mostly the collections of the library. If we don't have a better collections, so how can students use the library? So mostly we are stressing out to build up the collection first, build up a proper collection so that it can make the students can make use of it, make use of the library.
The library is a place where we feel at ease, and it's also the temple of knowledge and education, where we receive a lot of knowledge and also enthusiasm.
Yes, definitely. It's very useful for us, this school. Like we got a lot of information, knowledge and something which is very useful for us to know about the things that happens to the entire world.
I often come to the library because I like sitting in the library. One of my favorite books is The Princess and the Pop Star. I learned so many books about the encyclopedias and also about the space and much more.